Hey y'all, welcome back. We are so excited to have you with us for another round of Kerry A. Clark and Pamela Clark. Welcome and happy Easter. Happy Easter, y'all. It is a wonderful day today and we are celebrating the resurrection of Christ. So Kerry, I'm going to throw it over to you for just a second.
Another round, really? It's like I'm about to do battle with someone? Is that
You are.
Yes.
You're doing battle with being common.
Yes. In fact, I'm fighting against ordinary, normal, average, mediocre. So obviously in this special Easter message, which we do special messages each holiday, or we try to anyway.
Yeah.
This one is no different. So this will give you an uncommon perspective about Easter. In fact, it's not even really tailored to Christians, those who by default will celebrate Easter. This is for people who don't normally consider themselves a Christian. And I kind of give some perspective on why they too can celebrate this wonderful holiday we call Easter.
So what he's really saying, y'all, is this is for everybody. So hang in here with us, right? The title, did you share the title?
The title of this message is called Impossible to Ignore.
All right, so y'all hang in here with us, put your seatbelts on, and enjoy Kerry's session on Impossible to Ignore, and we'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
As most are aware, today is Easter Sunday. And so in light of Easter, Pamela and I decided to do a special message or a special podcast that's highlighting this special day. Actually, I don't want to address the Christians. I just want to encourage them since they are already encouraged because this is the biggest holiday for Christians. But this message is targeted towards non-Christians and even those who may not believe in Christ or God or whatnot. Let me start with something I was thinking about. The problem non-Christians have with Easter. I can see a huge problem a non-Christian could have with celebrating Easter. For if you don't believe in God, that's one thing. But believing in Jesus is a whole nother entirely different issue. How could it be that a man named Jesus was raised from the dead, and for what reason would God even do such a thing? The story can be very hard to believe, but remember, we can't control what people believe. Let me give you an example of that. In America, half the nation voted for one person to be president, while the other half voted for another. If believing was so simple and so common to a person, we wouldn't have such a split. People, in fact, believe what they want to believe or what they choose to believe. Controlling what a person believes isn't an issue. Forcing your beliefs on a person is. Many non-Christians believe that the Easter message is being forced. I get it. I personally don't want anyone to force anything upon me, especially when the thing that is forced, is not customary or normal for me. Christians, however, can easily believe and celebrate Easter. It's the basis upon which their faith is built. Let me paint the picture. Because God wanted to do something that could rescue every human being from ultimate death and destruction, He sacrificed His only Son and penalized Him with our penalties. As a result, He died and was raised from the dead as a sign of God's love for every single person, whether they believe it or not. This is the reason why Christians enjoy the belief in Christ. While we could gladly talk about that all day, that's not the topic of this message, this podcast. We're not going to discuss what Christians can easily celebrate, but rather why others should and can. I have some inspiring or an interesting thought on why a non-Christian can get away with celebrating Easter like a Christian can. Everyone can celebrate Easter. Allow me to give you the obvious reason why. Or maybe it's not so obvious. I don't understand why people find a problem with celebrating Easter even when they don't believe its message. I've seen people do stranger things, and I want to tell you about those strange things that I've noticed in people who don't believe in like God or Christ. At Christmas, in which its name alone proclaims Christ, people will celebrate it via Santa Claus in their own attempt to get around celebrating Christ. And don't let me forget Halloween. Most people do not recognize that Halloween is based upon a Christian holiday that was once called All Saints' Eve. When I was in grade school, Halloween was a big thing in our neighborhood. When kids used to go from house to house, from neighborhood to neighborhood, visiting and getting treats. And what was interesting about Halloween, think about this, today, when Halloween comes around, we'll allow our kids to dress up as superheroes. We'll see Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, the Black Panther, Captain America, and so forth and so on. All of these are fictional characters, and we're okay with our children seeing the movies, buying the action figures, and dressing up like their favorite characters. So then, why can't we share and celebrate this amazing character from the Bible in the same way we do these other heroes? Whether you believe it or not, it would seem it shouldn't really matter to you when you don't believe in the other characters either. Why can't we let Jesus be a superhero? That's where I want to get our Christians to get a little excited. Jesus is our superhero, and why is it so hard for a non-Christian to want to celebrate our superhero? Imagine this, a superhero who can walk on water. Imagine this, a superhero that can cure all sorts of diseases. Imagine this, a superhero who can appear and reappear. Imagine this, a superhero that can die and has the power from his Father to rise from the dead. Imagine this, a superhero who's fighting for people who can't fight for themselves. The obvious. Is this obvious or not? Why is it so hard for people to celebrate Jesus on Easter? It might be obvious. All other superheroes are make-believe, while Jesus is not. It's easier to celebrate heroes that never existed instead of the ones that do. Just like everyone celebrates Christmas, believers and non-believers alike, everyone can celebrate Easter. In fact, I invite you to celebrate Easter. We're celebrating the greatest superhero ever. Christians need to see Jesus for who he is, the greatest superhero that ever was and ever will be. He is an uncommon superhero. Therefore, I invite our non-Christian friends to join us in this celebration. Dress up like Jesus this year. Let's change Easter into almost like Halloween. Instead of celebrating the Easter bunny, let's dress up like Christ. As I invite our non-Christian friends, stop eliminating our superhero from the superhero list. He is impossible to ignore. You have to admit that this superhero is impossible to ignore. And from our family to yours, have an awesome, safe, and wonderful Easter Sunday.
Y'all are back. So that means you survived impossible to ignore. We sure do hope, seriously, that you guys enjoyed what we shared with you, and we hope that it leaves you with something to consider as you go about your day-to-day living. Kerry, any outgoing thoughts before I close this down?
You know, as we put that message together, it really surprised me a little bit. It made me think about Easter from a different perspective and how we should really, as believers or Christians, followers of Christ, we should think more highly of the holidays that we have and how we can share them with the world around us. I guess that's the major purpose or point I want people to take away from this Easter message.
All right, well, that's perfect. So y'all, you can find more information regarding KerryAClark.com and all of our different platforms on our website. So visit KerryAClark.com for all of our social media platforms and just a lot of information out there that we hope you will find as a great resource to help you as you move forward in your life of being no longer common. We appreciate y'all joining us, and you know what we want you to do, right? We want you to share.
Yeah,
I know you've got your family around you today. You probably have some friends around you as well because you're celebrating Easter, or even for those that aren't celebrating Easter, you're coming into contact with some other people. So share the information with them and come back and see us again on our next episode coming up soon. So thanks a lot.
From our family to yours, Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Impossible to ignore in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. We're so glad to see you and have you join us here today. And happy Easter. It is Easter Sunday. We are celebrating the resurrection of our... It is Easter Sunday.
We're doing the outro.
No, we started over.
Oh, you want to start over? Okay, I didn't know you wanted to start over.
I got rid of that video.
Impossible to ignore. Take 4 in 5, 4.
Take 5.
Blooper. It is not take 4, it's take 5. So impossible to ignore. Take 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2, and I figured you would remind me.
Okay,
I think you were going to say that. It gives you more to say. Outro. Impossible to ignore. Maybe that's why I always forget it. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Y'all are back. So that means you survived Impossible to Ignore.